engineer. And over the years, I'm fascinated by just one idea. Loads of students come to the same course, they're taught by the same teacher, they go to the same lab, but at the end of the day, some students get the first class, some get the second class, some get the third class, and some even go as far as repeating the whole year. Still with the same resources. What differentiates the upper class student and the lower class student? It's a question that really bogged my mind. In my first year, I was able to get a 2-1. In my second year, I got a first class, and in my third year, I hope I get higher than that. But the first question I want us to answer today is, what is a first class? What do people think a first class is?
You get to remark on something.
Okay.
Good answer.
Any other opinion?
Best.
Okay.
Something you're more satisfied
Okay.
Technical if you endeavour.
Deep.
Any other opinion? Okay. What do I think first class is from my experience? First class is simply just first class. That's quite obvious, but not really. Getting 70% of the total marks in the exam. So obvious. Just get 70%. You get a first class. Knowing and writing down at least 70% of the total marks in an examination questions will actually get you first class mechanically. It's not about passion, it's not about it's not about loving it, but just getting 70% down on the paper will get you first class. So if, like in engineering, we do have 3 questions, transcribing that a first class means answering 2 questions very well and doing very bad on the third question will get you first class. Most of all, your marker must agree with you that you have written 70% of what it's expecting you to write down. So not 100%, not 80%, not 90%, but just only as far as 70% will get you your dreams of first class. But the problem is, like, how do we measure first class? How? How do you quantify first class? That's a big question. How? Is it reading 40 hours a week? Is it reading 2 hours? I know some people on my course that they do the bare minimum work and they get the most mark. I don't know if you know people that are that smart. I don't know. I tend to see myself as the one that really is not that smart but works tons of hours. For example, one project, you get a student comes here and do it in probably less than 30 minutes, and you have to keep calling your friend for about 3 hours to pass you the coursework because you don't know what to do. But now I'm going to measure first class for you, and I hope you agree with me. Get all your notes out, example sheet, essay sheet, and examination question, past papers. Just get them out. That's the first step to first class. That's how you can measure it. The second step is calculate 70% of the number of topics on your note. Okay, so for example now, if I have 20 notes in a model like electronics 3, 70% will probably be knowing 14 out of 20. So all I need to do is to only read 14 out of 20. So if it's 6, I don't know, for 5 it's about 3.2. So if you know 3 topics out of 5 topics in the model, you get a first class. That's what I'm telling you today. I hope you're convinced. Get on your example sheet, papers out, or your essay sheet. There's not only 70%. So, for example, if you have 3 questions in an example sheet, if your lecturer is nice, only know 2. Only know 2 and you get a first class. Big statement. And the final one is get the examination paper out and calculate only 70%. Read only 70% of the answers. Know that very well. And if the same questions come out or similar questions come out, you're going to get a first class. Isn't that amazing that we can actually quantify what first class is? So you can go home today, get all your notes out, and calculate first class. But is that? And yeah, I just hope this gives you a clear indication to what a first class really looks like. Now, but really, I've been saying 70%, 70%. Even the university tells you 70%. So, like, there's a bit of truth in that, but what does it actually look like? Before exam, it's very big. Oh my days, when you tell students first class, like, you see their eyes wide open. loads of notes to read. As I said, bring out all your notes. For some of you, probably a shelf of notes already. Loads of questions to answer. For me, on average, I probably have about 20 question sheets. So that's quite a lot. Loads of reading hours. I guess my lecturers expect me to study 40 hours a week. And if at 40 hours a week, don't worry. At 40 hours a week, and this is week 20, so my lecturers are expecting me to have done 800 hours of study. That's incredibly insane. More coffee, obviously. More sleepless nights, obviously, Easter holiday. More hours spent in the library. Hope you know that the library will be 24 hours, so you can get your bed over there. But still, first class is just 70% of your total marks in the exam. Now, what does first class look like during an examination? Now, we know what it looks before. It's very big, very nasty. It's very difficult during an exam to think about first class. You have so many exams. It's just not it's not easy to visualize. During the exam, after writing the second paper, it's almost impossible to even think of a first class. After writing the third paper, it's not even an option anymore. It's quite almost impossible to visualize. The mind is focused on just passing. When you're in the examination mode, how can I just pass this next paper and move on? Now more hours are spent in the library again. You realize that, oh shit man, I need to pump in more hours. No partying or drinking anymore. For so many of us. But still, what first class is doesn't change. It's 70% in an examination paper. So you can see the behavioral change, the mental change, and still first class is still what first class is, simple. Now, what does it look after the exam? Very fulfilling. Oh gosh, you get first class, you're so fulfilled. It's like the best thing in the world has happened to you. You feel so great the first time you see your result. I remember I almost smashed the desktop when I saw my first class result. More self-confidence, you can go to anyone, talk to them, after all, you've got a first class. Everyone that I was going to talk to the lecturer, I want to do my final year project with you. He said yes. I said, well, you got first class. Stronger inner belief because I've done it. Good holiday break, now I can sleep longer. I don't need to think, oh gosh, shit, I have to do some research. Receive praise. And it's kind of funny, every time people ask you about exams, oh, I got a first, I'm like, wow, how did you do it? I just only got 70% in my total examination score. But still, the first class is just 70%. Isn't that amazing? It's just the 7. It doesn't change. Whatever you do, come 10 years time, it's still 70%. Come buy more textbooks, it's still 70%. Do more question papers, it's still 70%. So now this moves me to the last part of my speech, the 6 rules of first class. I'm going to give you 6 rules today. And if you apply them, whatever course you do, however manner you choose to apply them, you will leave this university getting the first class. Because it's just a mechanical process, in my opinion. Read all your lecture notes once, at least once. Just go through them, even if you're tired, bored of the sociology class. Just read them. Practice example sheet, and those who do essay, please maybe just write 2 essays. Get an essay topic and just write it twice. Then not too much time. You can see the play. Look at your exam table 3 times. It's kind of fun, I said, look at examination table 3 times because it helps prepare your mind mentally for exam. And at least when you're in the club dancing, at least you know that the exam is coming up soon. The 4th rule is you have to plan your revision time 4 times. How does this work? Now I'm going to combine rule 3 and rule 4 together. So you're not planning. Those who fail to plan to fail. So if you have no plan, that is plan 1 failure. That means you're plan to fail. You look at your timetable the first time. You go back and say, oh, okay, I need to start reading. That is plan 2. And you have viewed it once. you go back and look at your exam timetable the second time. So you're on the third class now. When you look at your exam timetable the second time, you move mentally into a 2-1 by writing, okay, I'm going to do this work, and this work. Then you look at the timetable the third time to actually now get a stronger feel about your exam, and you go back and like, okay, come with the final draft. The fourth draft will take you to your first class, and that is depends on different individuals, so I'll not tell you what works for me. And the sixth one is quite mental, but just whatever you do, just talk to yourself 5 times about the topic. Just so today if I'm reading about filters, I'll just go back up and say active filters is this and that. During lunchtime, sometimes just spend 2 or 3 minutes with myself. Just discuss with yourself like 5 times. Like 5 times is not too much. And the final key, practice your exam questions 6 good times. Just grab it. If at all you miss any of my rules, do not apply the remaining 5. Please do the 6th one, because that will take you straight from whatever mark you are to your first class. Because mechanically, your lecturers cannot say to you topics outside what they've taught you. They do that years and after years. They are bored of it, so you just really twist the questions in a different way. So if you practice the exam questions 6 times, mathematically the probability of you getting it first increases to about, let's say roughly about 0.9. And at 0.9, you're going to get first class. Thank you very much for listening to me. Any questions?
Do you have any tips for someone who, like, I study drama, I actually don't have any exams left this year, but I still got some assessed performances and essays and stuff. Do you got any tips for
I think, you write essays. Your lecturers are expecting you to write about 5 points. So, you have 5 points. So that means if you can write 70% of 5 points, that's about 3. You get It's simple as that. Don't make it complicated. That's why, if you like, just think like your lecturer, okay, these are 3 points he wants to see out of 5. 5 is done, statistically, you have a high chance of getting first class.
So, only learn 3 things. You each learn 5, only learn 3.
Exactly like that, so only give you 60%.
No, but I mean, like 60%, but like if you do the math proper, about 3.4.
Yeah, no.
So, but yeah. So, but it's not nearly all 5. At least that saves you some time to play.
There's an interesting idea that you're talking about dividing it up so that you make it, like 5 questions, so 3 answers, really good answers, and a couple of bad ones.
Yeah.
I think it's a psychological term, isn't it? I think called bite-sized elephant, something weird like that, in which you just take a massive big problem like that and divide it into small things you can actually handle. So I see, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's explained really well.
Oh, thank you.
You're not going
You're like a broccoli,
Any other questions?
Yeah.
How are you sure that the 6 points you mentioned are very successful?
Because I've tried them out, and I know people that have tried them out that has worked. For example, my friend doesn't go first class with the same technique. What was the question? How do I know it works?
Like, maybe everyone has a different way of learning, so...
But strictly speaking, everyone has a different way of learning, but everyone learns the same material in a particular course. My lecturer doesn't teach me specially for my needs. They teach training people the same material course, so or some form they make me seem behind getting the math in that course.
Maybe it's like just going over them that times, like if some people learn better, like more through audio kind of repetition, if they like record a lecturer speaking, just listen to it like 5 times or so, or like a video thing on Spotify and stuff like that, just look at it over and over.
Yeah, but as I said, like I purposely did not give any particular way because I know people learn differently. But what is quite important is the repetition. Because when you repeat things in your own way, your brain acclimatizes to that. And for that reason, you get first class, irrespective of the method.